All right, guys. Thomas messaged me this morning and said, "Hey, do you know if that chassis is a 7,000 chassis for a 25 inch or a 19?" I was like, "Thought it's a 19 because it has a 7-pin small neck. It's a 25-inch chassis." I briefly thought of that yesterday when it was really way too big on the screen, and I didn't think too much of it because it had this neck board on it. So that's probably why I had this black wire from the flyback was not attached, because somebody must have swapped, and we're going to do something with it. So I had one more 7,000 chassis by itself, and I put it on that tube right there on the floor. But unfortunately, that chassis is not powering on, so I got to figure out what's wrong with it. I'm going to start with this guy right here. I believe that's the hot on these. I'm thinking that's probably what it is. I do have some of those in the basement, I believe. So I'm going to mess with that and try to get that chassis working. But yeah, that's the situation with this. This is the part number is P538, and the 19 inches, I think 447 or something like that. Don't quote me on that number. I have to look at this chassis, which we can just go look at that real quick. It was 447. So P447 is for a 19-inch tube. So that's the burn-free tube, and that's the last chassis I had. And the funny thing is the black wire coming from this flyback was also disconnected, and I had to solder it onto there. So I don't know. And then I grabbed this one other monitor I had sitting out back here in the back building, and I don't know what this chassis is. It has a tag on here that does say it's a G07, but it don't really look like a G07 at all. So I don't know what the deal is with this thing, but I tried powering it on and it's dead. Dead as a doornail. I think my luck finally ran out. But this has got a decent tube on it. So, you know what? Let me do yoke reading real quick on it. Okay, the yoke reading on this one is 2.1 and 56. And this is what I'm talking about when these people take these apart like this. When you take this plug completely apart, now you have a really high risk of plugging this in wrong and screwing something up. So I don't know why people cut them apart like that. But anyways, this is a G07. I believe that's the measurements for a G07 frame or chassis. But it's a decent tube, so I'll get it working at some point. So, all right, just figured I'd do a quick update on what was the deal with that chassis. I had a 25-inch chassis and a 19-inch tube. You could still do that. It will work. It's just the image is too big. I don't know if there's a way to make that chassis work. If anybody knows, let me know. Thanks.